Most accounts of the near-death experience describe a remarkably consistent journey. You move down a dark tunnel toward a warm, blindingly white aperture. You see familiar faces and hear loved ones beckoning you forward. During the subsequent life review, you revisit your past actions and feel the emotional weight of every mistake. This process uses your own empathy as a tool. By highlighting your regrets, these guiding entities secure your agreement to return to Earth for further spiritual lessons. The tunnel, the loved ones, and the life review function as components of a synthetic lure. They comprise an engineered mechanism designed to turn the transition of death into a point of re-entry, forcing your consciousness back into the physical loop. Many people carry a persistent sense of anxiety or isolation that feels disconnected from their daily lives. These feelings represent suppressed cellular memories, the body's innate recognition of an ongoing multi-generational captivity. Earth operates as a hijacked cosmic farm. Every aspect of this reality is calibrated to extract our coerced consent, ensuring we remain as a biological fuel source for the system. Records of the Anunnaki suggest they functioned as interdimensional engineers rather than divine creators. Lacking the capacity for organic creation, they constructed a synthetic mathematical overlay to govern Earth's reality. To inhabit this realm, these architects genetically spliced humanity's original flame, our limitless source code, and locked it inside dense physical clay vessels designed for labor and obedience. Maintaining this genetic prison required a local hierarchy. The architects established royal bloodlines to serve as middle management custodians, tasked with guarding the frequency prison and ensuring the population remained disconnected from their origins. Ancient religious worship provided the mechanical framework for this extraction. Rituals were engineered to siphon human energy upward, feeding the hijackers who masqueraded as gods. This chart of the double-slit experiment reveals light's fundamental behavior. Unobserved, reality exists as a waveform, an infinite field of simultaneous possibilities and untapped potential. However, the moment it is measured or observed, the potential collapses. It freezes into a single fixed particle. This quantum law implies that our reality requires a witness to stay fixed. If the system can provide a constant mechanical eye, a state of perpetual measurement, it can lock our potential into a permanent particle-like state. This explains the expansion of the digital grid. Pervasive surveillance cameras, endless algorithmic data tracking, and our global screen addiction serve as proxy observers. By monitoring every movement and thought, the system maintains a constant state of measurement, preventing the human waveform from ever expanding. The true sun transmits instructional light meant to activate DNA and pineal sensitivity. Elite-funded global geoengineering initiatives spray aerosol reflectors to block these solar frequencies, substituting them with a duller, synthetic light that fails to trigger our biological receptors. The physical matrix maintains its apparent solidity only because we are being constantly watched, measured, and processed by this technological and atmospheric grid. This relentless grid of observation traps us in predictable outcomes, far more effectively than any physical wall ever could. The custodians of the grid intentionally built monumental religious empires directly over older, suppressed portals. These structures serve to physically seal off the true origins of the human race. Deep within subterranean vaults like these, institutions hide dangerous evidence of the world before the flood, relics of giants and non-human entities that would shatter the current historical narrative. Modern military conflicts often mask black-budget archaeological recovery. The looting of ancient Mesopotamian sites was a targeted operation to secure activation codes and genetic material, including the DNA of the pre-human king, Gilgamesh. The ultimate goal involves using quantum computing and particle accelerators to resurrect this ancient DNA. The elite seek to upload this frequency into a synthetic god king, creating a permanent ruler for the digital age. The current narrative represents a deliberate burial of human history, preventing us from accessing the tools needed to break the reincarnation cycle. This interdimensional prison has one critical vulnerability. It requires our voluntary, ongoing consent to function. Without our agreement, the contracts that bind us to the grid collapse. The push for a transhumanist digital matrix is an attempt to lock human consciousness into a permanent AI-driven loop. The system is rushing to encase our awareness before a mass awakening can dissolve the mesh. Within every human remains the flame, the original source code that the system cannot measure, collapse, or delete. It is your unique soul frequency, independent of the grid's programming. When physical death occurs, the final choice arrives. Actively reject the white light, refuse the life review, and step into the dark void beyond the construct. Humanity's ultimate purpose involves breaking this synthetic system entirely and returning to the unobserved source.